Hi, I'm Ray McAllister, editor of BOOMER magazine. We're here today with Harvey Newquist, who is executive director of the National Guitar Museum. Welcome, Harvey.
Thanks very much for having me, Ray.
Well, first of all, you're in town for an exhibit, but before we talk about that, let's talk about the National Guitar Museum. I didn't know there was one.
Well, right now, the museum is in Virginia, and next year it'll be in Massachusetts and in Idaho. The idea came about to create a museum when I realized that I'd never been to a guitar museum. And a friend of mine who's about my age had come into my house and seen all the guitars I had on my wall. And I hang guitars instead of art, as I think a lot of boomers do. And
well, you're also a journalist.
Yeah, once upon a time I was editor-in-chief of Guitar Magazine back in the 90s, back when my hair was not so gray. And this guy came into my house and said, you know, it looks like a guitar museum in here. And we started talking about it and realized we'd never been to a guitar museum. And we were both in our late 40s. And doing a little research, I realized there was no guitar museum. And a couple of famous manufacturers like Fender and Martin have their own guitar museums in their factories. But it seemed that there should be a guitar museum.
Sure,
and it seemed like there would be one. And so I talked to my contacts in the industry and said, you know, where do you go to see guitars? And they were like, well, there's got to be someplace. And I realized that there wasn't. And
not even at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has guitars on display, but not sort of a history of the instrument. And in America, we have teacup museums and barbed wire museums and ventriloquist dummy museums.
We have barbed wire?
There's barbed wire museums. But no museum dedicated to the world's most popular instrument. So I realized that nobody had done it, and if somebody was going to do it, it might as well be me. So starting in end of 2008, early 2009, we did some research and decided that we would create the world's first guitar museum. And our timing, given the recession that was heading our way, was not so good for setting up a permanent museum right away. So we decided to take what we'd already built, or we're in the process of building, and take it on the road. And by doing that, we'd go from city to city to city and see what kind of response we got. And it would also allow us to look for a good place for a permanent home for it. So we're going to be on the road. We've been on the road a year. We'll be on the road at least 3 or 4 more years. And at the end of that time, we'll kind of look back and say, you know, what city really suited the idea of a permanent home for the guitar?
So Richmond could be in the running.
Richmond could certainly be in the running.
Okay, good.
Right now, I like it a lot.
Good, good. Well, the exhibit is called Guitar, the Instrument That Rocked the World. It opens October 13th and runs through the end of the year at the Science Museum of Virginia. Thank you, Harvey, and join us online on our YouTube channel for more videos with Harvey.
Thanks.